I'm always ready.
It's cool. I just kicked your ass in that arm wrestling contest earlier too. That was awesome. That was embarrassing. It was the kicks.
I think it's the weather. The weather's got me.
Okay, the weather. You're
My
getting
joints.
old too. Old man. Hello, universe of guitar lovers out there. Baxter and Johnny Rob. We're here. This is a special video. This one's a little bit longer than normal, and it's a little bit more in depth. But with 2022 that just came and hit us, and 2021 in the rearview mirror firmly now.
Seems crazy. How was it
weird,
2022?
Right? I was talking about something that it was like 2020 when it happened. I was like, oh my God, it's a whole year's just. Anyway, we want to talk about the top 5 disturbing guitar trends that we sort of see going down in the manufacturer world and just the guitar community, mainly from manufacturers. We have another one with community-based, another one on online selling coming down the road, but we're very positive. We try to keep everything positive on this channel.
Generally.
But this was something we've been noticing sort of, and we've done a video on some of them already, just on one actually. But we had a list it was like 25 things. We're like, let's just
maybe too long. Yeah.
Let's just do 5. So we had to pick our top 5. So this is what you're getting, and there's plenty more, and we want you to add to it. Bear with us, stick around for it, because I think there's some good points here, and a little bit of fun, hopefully, along the way.
We usually manage to eke out some fun somewhere.
Been watching some good movies, watching some TV show, finished season 1 of Outlander. Don't know if I'm going to season 2. Anyway, here we go.
You totally are.
No, I don't know. I need a break, man. That was enough. Number 1, prices.
Prices. Ooh.
We've done a whole video on the price increases across the board, but we see this as getting a little bit out of hand.
A little bit, I would say so.
It's now that a Fender Twin is $1949. It's $2,000 for a Fender Twin.
Just you saying it.
I remember, and I'm not that old, but it was like I think it was 10 years ago they were $999.
Yes.
It's if prices have doubled.
No, I remember thinking anything over $1,000 for an amp was like a lot. You know what I mean?
It is a lot.
Well, it is, but just to show you that it's a trend in my brain, I'm like, oh, three grand for an amp, cool. It's
and I watched
on the low end. Yeah,
I watched that interview with Andy Mooney from the Fender CEO, and like he was just talking about the price increases over. It was 5% last year. It was another 5% in January. We're going to have more coming up in the middle of this year, I think. So we're going to have 15% price increase within sort of a 15-month period.
Guitar hyperinflation.
I mean, PRS has already done it. Gibson has sort of eked it in there as well. Every manufacturer's done it. Even our small guys have sort of added into their price. I get it. Things have gone up and there's reasons for it, but it's a trend that I don't like.
I don't love it either. Especially as a gear addict who likes to buy things. I don't enjoy it.
And
I'd be forced to actually play and practice.
I know. The same thing.
I know.
What are you doing to us? Come on, Fender. Yeah. Come on, PRS. Stop
ruining it.
Gibson, all you guys, just stop doing this. But it's also, God, what was my point I was going to make?
Sorry.
It's these manufacturers that we all love that have affordable guitars, like that's no longer a thing. I think the days of entry-level Fenders are kind of over in some ways, and entry-level Gibsons.
Well, I see that sometimes like with Taylor, where somebody comes in, their kid wants to start with an acoustic guitar, and I'm like, oh, these GS Minis are great, and understandably so, they don't want to spend $500 or $600.
Right.
They want a $200 thing, $150 thing, and so and that leaves that void for, we talked about this, the Harley Benz and the
Yamaha the Fender acoustics, but Yamaha's having supply chain issues too. Fender acoustics are there, but they're running out. We bought as many of their CD60s as I could because it's a good deal. It's a good sounding guitar, but it's a big guitar.
Right.
It comes with a case, but it's not for beginner kids.
No, not necessarily. No.
And we think the Taylors make hands down the best.
Oh, they're amazing.
The GS Mini is one of the best guitars. Everyone should have a GS Mini. We're going to do a video on that, but I just did it. Everyone should have a GS Mini. Anyway, number 2, which pairs with number. I was like, with number. What? That's from like Snowpiercer when she's like, and we have to all work together. Like, wow, this is really strangely arousing.
We need to watch that again at Merlefest. That should be our thing. We watch Snowpiercer every time.
Maybe we'll watch like Train to Busan too.
Only because our little house we stayed at, someone was assigned in all
Number 2, Jonathan, you're getting distracted.
Number 2, sorry.
Quality.
Now, I would say if this was going in the right direction, number 1 would be a little more palatable.
Now, the quality of all the guitars are not degrading. Don't get me wrong. There's a large aspect of the guitars that are actually increasing in quality. But there's a section of the guitars, and we're not going to get into individual ones just so we can avoid people's feelings getting hurt. But they're substandard woods and a lot cheaper metals. Definitely not being built in the USA anymore. Definitely not being built in Mexico anymore for a lot of these pieces. Using woods that we would not normally consider a proper guitar tone wood.
Yeah.
And we're being offered these at, reasonable prices, but not beginner level prices.
Not reasonable. Yeah.
And it's like these sub $1,000 price range, but that's still a lot of money for a guitar tone wood that we have not, that would not consider a great guitar tone wood.
Yeah.
That used to be sort of like the cheap stuff that was built just overseas, and you're like, okay, this is just a cheap guitar.
Well, and it's not even like a new tone wood. It's again, something that in the past was relegated to like, these are the cheapest of the cheap, blah.
Right.
Wood.
And now we're scared that could become a trend where you see that becomes accepted. If this becomes part of the marketplace, then all of your sub $1,000 guitars will become of a much lower standard wood.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not the case. I think it works for certain things as a representation of that piece
Sure.
and that brand. But I don't want that to become the trend that becomes the norm, which it might, because we're having wood prices are more expensive. There's finite
Right.
wood out there. There's a lot of guitar players. But that's it's kind of a big deal.
There you go.
You ready for number 3?
I'm ready.
You want to take this one in?
Yes. So, I'm just going to put it out there. Policing by manufacturers on online forums like Facebook. So, like when you go to a company's fan page, about such and such guitar, and you want to post about your experience with the new guitar, and a moderator or an admin or whatever says, hey, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Here's the door. Bam.
That's a problem. You know what I mean? That's definitely not a...
And don't get me wrong,
open discussion.
I hate negative forums. I
Yes.
hate them. And there's lots of them out there, and you know which ones I don't like, and it's just, I just don't like it.
Because it can get toxic if everybody's just shit-talking everything all the time. That's not what we're talking about. We don't agree with that either. But you should be able to raise questions or say, I don't know about this thing, or I don't know about this. This was maybe a poor decision on said manufacturer's part.
And a lot of these forums the administrators are paid by the manufacturers. This is not, a lot of people might not know this or get this, like, oh, these are just super fanboys. Yes, they're super fanboys.
Sometimes not.
With a monetization behind it, and that's
Right.
okay.
Sure.
I mean, we are paid for our job of making complete fools of ourselves.
All the time, constantly.
But it is like you're compensated for a job, and like that's part of the job is to manage it, keep the community good and healthy. But policing it, and we've seen lots of comments pop up and get removed. There's been a particular guitar launch coming up that we've seen it radically happen across.
A lot.
And it happens with us too. Because we do sell for these manufacturers, and we've been called by multiple manufacturers, because we're very honest. We're very I remember being called by one of the biggest manufacturers in
Baxter?
No, he's really nice about it too. Super nice. And he was like,
What did you mean?
what was your purpose of this video? I was like, well, we don't really have a purpose, sir. We just kind of spit. No, we just tell the truth, and what we see as the truth.
Yeah.
In my Buddhist Zen ways of truth is always different for each viewer, maybe, except for 2 + 2 is 4, I think.
Pretty sure.
But we've been asked why we do that. We've been asked to take things down, and we've had to take things down too to continue relationships with some of these manufacturers.
Right.
And it became very combative for some silly reasons. Sometimes we were a little bit stupid and said some dumb things.
That's probably
maybe.
true.
Sometimes they were a little bit hyper protective.
I would say that's true.
And very much dismissive of the idea of anything being pointed fun at or critical. And because our job is to partner with these manufacturers, and I believe in that strongly, but I believe in an honest partnership too.
Yes.
And that's why the forums have become different. I've noticed some of them. Don't get me wrong, still got some of those forums where it is like true fanboys, and I love it, and they're rocking it.
Well, nothing says that you can't be a fanboy and get paid, because it is it's hard work and a lot of time to run one of those forums.
I am 100% a Fender fanboy.
So me too. Absolutely. And so I'm fine with them being paid. It's just the problem is when it's policed to the point where nothing negative or anything that's constructive criticism maybe is allowed to be brought to the surface. That seems
Number
disturbing.
4 kind of sneaks in with number 3, and this is one of my favorite ones. Now this is a new acronym that I've called. It's called the FAF.
FAF.
It's FAF. It's the YouTube marketing campaigns by the manufacturers. The FAF. I call it the fake as campaigns. Whereas the newest product comes out, and we all have to have it. Every YouTuber under the sun has these guitars. The people that sell them to you don't have them. Don't worry, that makes no sense to any of us at all, especially the ones that have YouTube channels.
Nor will we have them for months.
No, we won't have them for months, but we hope you're excited about getting them in months when you're not excited about getting them and want the new thing.
You can lust after the YouTubers.
And I try to buy theirs. They'll sell it to you.
Maybe.
They have to pass theirs around like a used roach, like, going around like the frat house or whatever.
Sometimes not. Sometimes you get to keep them.
Sometimes you do get to keep them.
Which, again, I'm sort of fine with, because it is a lot of work to make a video and to do some of these videos, but...
Disclose it.
Yes. Well, and they do. Most of them do disclose it.
I know.
The problem is that, like you said, the not the manufacturers, the people selling them to you, we don't have them yet. We've not seen it. And it's sort of become a really, it's weird when on a certain day, your whole YouTube feed is X new guitar, X new pedal, as if that just organically happened and they all just, the collective hive mind just decide, man, you know what I'll do today? I'll make a demo of this new thing. Amazing.
The collective hive, that made me happy. It reminded me of this video game from I think it was the late 90s called Hive. It was like an on-the-rails shooter.
I've heard of that. I've never played
that. It was great graphics, kind of missed graphics, but you blew up stuff. And my CPU never had enough graphics processing power, so I could never really play it. I was like, darn, I paid $49 for this game and I can't play it. Or my mom paid $49 for this game or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it's like, one of our major manufacturers, we won't say names. It was an acoustic type guitar that looked kind of jazzy, and it was on every forum. Every YouTuber had it under the sun.
Yeah.
We took a principle and chose not to do any of them. And just because I was so irritated by the obvious, blatant oversaturation of a niche instrument of a niche product cycle.
Yes.
That was just. I just thought it was funny, but
sticking it to the man. That's us.
No, we are the man. That's the sad part. We're firmly under the boot of the man. No,
at least we know it.
I love the man. Everyone that works at these guitar companies, we love them. I love the marketing people. I remember meeting one of the marketing guys for Fender too. That dude he played basketball in college. He was so tall and so pretty and dreamy. He had the Clark Kent glasses on. Just a cool guy. He knew his stuff and. It was just neat, but every once in a while they get it wrong, and that's now they advertise through this, and as a seller of these guitars, it drives us beyond bats. Yeah. I've talked to multiple friends of mine that are big sellers, not casino guitar sellers, but big sellers,
big sellers, real sellers,
and they don't have these guitars either. Before Joe and Mama's YouTube guy might get it, and it drives us nuts because we want to be able to get it to people as quickly as possible as well, not just to make the money, just because it's fun. Because especially if it's a low-end price guitar, it's not a huge profit swing on that. It's just fun to be able to see the smiling faces on that and the marketing and time we spend to sell said guitar.
But the thing about it,
is wasted if we don't have said guitar.
That's just not logical. Is you have all this hype build up for a certain day, and you would think you'd want all the people who are selling it to have 20 of them, so that when everybody watches those videos, because we will field calls for a month. Hey, did you guys have the new blah, blah, blah? Nah, sorry.
You know who does do a great job of that? Fender does do a great job of that.
Actually, Fender does crush that.
And we diss them on some the YouTube stuff every once in a while, but they crush as far as when they have guitars dropping on January 12th. We have the guitars January 11th.
Yes.
And we have time to do our photos and our videos. We have to do it fast. I get why they don't send them out before, too, because they don't want people to leak it before the release.
But they've figured it out and they've timed it. I can remember the last year that I didn't go to NAMM with you. It was the drop of the very first Acoustasonic Telecaster. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it's just me here.
He went to the shop.
Ship and ship.
He was so pissed. It was funny because no one else was at the shop. It was just Jonathan. Other people were sick or something. It was just like sweaty Johnny. He wasn't wearing a shirt for those. So if you like Outlander,
that's right,
and you want to have the shirtless scene, especially the prison scene, which my mom loves for some reason.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it's disturbing.
It's a rape scene. And she's like, no, it's great because they really handle rape well. They're really like, I'm like, there should be no handling of rape well. I was like, what are you talking about, Mom? It's like, good Lord, what if she's whatever. You get to a certain age, and I guess you just lose your route. But she loved it. And I love the show because it just really brings back, it gives us older people hope for romance. I'm like, Mom, I don't think rape is romance. But anyway, I love her. She's special. She's a special woman.
I think we've tackled that disturbing trend.
Outlander, yeah. If you want to watch some of that, it only takes 16 hours to get there. Oh Lord,
is that the first season?
It's the first season, bro. I'm done. I don't know if I can go any further.
Nah.
And it was like cheesy music on a
I can't do it.
I was like, dude, I need some action. Last Kingdom, amazing. Have you watched that?
No.
Dude, it's great. It's great if you go through that.
Yeah.
And then Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 5. Let's wrap this one up. This one,
here's the one.
You hit it. This one's funny too.
Product life cycles.
That's what it's called within the industry. So hey, we got this new guitar. And now we're going to have a new one of the same guitar come out.
We're replacing it
5 weeks later. It feels like that sometimes.
It really, and I'm trying to decide if maybe I was just less aware of it in the past.
No, it's new.
But I felt to me like there was an American Standard Strat and the Standard, which everybody just called the Mexican Standard.
That lasted for 15 years.
Forever.
15 years, I think.
You know?
It was
and I knew that, and that was tried and true, and I knew I was aiming for it. I had a reference point, and now... Not anymore.
Now, don't get me wrong. The marketing and the strategy of this is sound. It works. It sells more guitars.
Yes.
Because, like, there's a Stratocaster. How do we sell more Stratocasters? We rebrand it. We change some colors. We change the pickups. We change the neck carve a little bit. We make it slightly better. We increase the price slightly. We're using, again, the biggest Fender fanboys you will meet here. And we're just using that because we know Fender's products line so well.
That's true.
And we do love them. But it's confusing. It all goes hand in hand. Like, when there's new products, there's new price increases. Those two, like, it's a lot of work within the shop. If you have, you have to re-educate the team. You have to reprice everything. You have to go through and make sure everything's done right.
Yeah.
And
well, it's confusing. I see it being confusing for the customers because we get folks coming in all the time.
Care about those.
And they're just like, what, I don't understand what all these names are. And then I have to refer them back to, that's like an American Standard. Oh, that's like what the Deluxe used to be. Oh, that's like what this used to be. And
well, fortunately, and I see it with like some of these companies that get it with the younger audiences, they don't have that history. So like, the American Pro 2 is that's the guitar.
Right.
And it is like that. I held all the American Pro. I went through all of the ones we had in stock the other day just to go get my hands on guitars.
Quite a few. Yeah.
I just wanted I want to touch. I think it's important to touch the guitars every once in a while. It's a weird thing, but they're really, really, really good.
They're very good.
Really good. It's just I hope it stays for a while so I don't have to learn any new spec because it is quite different than the Pro 1.
It is.
The neck carve, the pickups, the push.
And to me, it's better than an old American Standard. You know what I mean? Like,
except for the 2015s were really good.
Those amazing pickups, yeah. That is true. I've been impressed with the, But
the neck is better on the new American Pro 2.
Yes.
It's a better guitar.
It's like I get caught up in, I only touch custom shops.
I know, because we live in this dumb world, this hype world.
But the last week or so, I've been playing the Ultra Luxes, and I'm like, God,
those are so good. $2,500 guitar, a lot of money. It's not a cheap guitar, but they've knocked it out of the park. And I don't know who did that, if that was Joey or if that was Tim or whoever,
whoever did it.
Joey, if that's you at Fender with the gorgeous hair, and I know that you own that Dumble still. We talked about it at one of those Fender things outside, and we were hanging out, not listening to the keynote speaker. Because we were both bored. He's like one of Fender's head product designers, I think. Yeah. He's such a cool guy. And like his dream job, he has to come up with the new stuff for Fender to make.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, what are we going to do now? It's awesome.
5 weeks after the last It's constant.
That's true. No, it's like he's like taking all his Adderalls every day.
Slow down.
Hold on, coffee.
Take a breath. Rest on your laurels.
Like, why do I do heroin? That would not speed you up. I'm sorry. I was doing all the drugs. I just didn't know.
Could be some. Maybe you're. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an expert at that stuff. But but it's what a dream job, but a nightmare job too to keep it, because that's their direction from. I think all the companies that have to keep doing it, because
that would be tricky.
Well, we live in a consumer driven Adderall high speed TikTok world now. We want new stuff always. Stimulate me.
And we have it. There you go. Be careful what you ask.
You know who doesn't do that? The game consoles. Yeah. They have 5 to 6 year life cycles.
It's true.
And that seems reasonable when I'm spending $500 to $600 on a thing to play my toys on.
Right.
I like the idea that it's going to last 5 to 6 years. I spend $100 a year on this toy that operates all my TV stuff, operates all my gaming. They can update the software as they go. They build it. I'm okay with that.
But then on our $2,500 toy, we're like, we gotta have the new one,
the newest,
stainless aluminum frets.
I want glow in the dark frets, and
right.
I want frets that can pop out when you press a button.
How nice would that be? That's what the next invention should be, like easy self-replacing frets. Probably no one cares.
No, there's some boutique maker that has some cool frets coming soon to Casino Guitars near you too.
There you go.
Stay tuned for that. That's kind of it. We have a list of literally 20 more. They're not going to. This is just what was sort of on the top of our fire.
This was our top fired up ones.
Firebrand casino style. But let us know what you think. We've had a lot of fun talking about it. We're excited about the guitar community, and we love it so much. It pains me to talk about anything negative in it, but we hope that this is the way we talk to the manufacturers as well.
That's true.
Because we speak with our buying dollars and we speak with our voices here, but we're not Sweetwater, we're not Guitar Center. They don't really care about any of the indies as far as the normal SKUs go. This is the way that they see what you guys say.
They do care about that.
They read the comments.
Yep.
I've talked to the head of marketing for all of these companies I've talked about, and they go through and read these YouTube comments when it's a video that piques their interest, good or bad.
I dare say over the last 5 years, I've seen more changes based on direct consumer feedback than I've ever seen. And maybe it's because I'm paying more attention.
Martin did amazing leaps and bounds when they had us all up there and asked about the Reimagine series. Was all a direct result of consumer interface, and I can't believe we were in that room when they invited us. There were Groons and Musicville and Tobias, all these other real big shops. It was great. But no, they made a great guitar greater. It made it more greater.
More great.
Anyway, that's all. We don't even do all of the other things. Subscribe, builders, podcast, all that stuff. But thank you for sticking with us. And again, happy 2022. We're excited about this year. We think there's going to be some banger guitars coming out.
That's true.
We are really excited about. And we're excited just to keep the manufacturers and keep the community on its toes. And hopefully keep our focus on just building great guitars for people that love guitars.
Yep. There you go.
Take us home, Johnny. Anything else?
I think that's about it. You even covered the subscribe.
No,
you didn't say about the bell.
I want to be your friend. That's the only time I've ever gotten to say that.
Biggest thing, let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.